I remember when I got the twin steer finally unlocked, and Lucia was like, "Why are you driving that? Why are you driving this truck instead of the twin steer? The twin steer's got a 4-length bed." And then I started driving the twin steer, and he was all like, "Why are you driving that truck? That truck sucks." I was like, "What do you want from me?" Yo, bro, why are you doing that? Go down. 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 What are you doing? Alright. Alright, there we go. Hey, Mom. You remember when I was really sick when I was a kid? And there was one, I'm referring to one particular instance. Not just in general. You're like, yeah, I do remember. You remember the one time I was really sick as a kid and I couldn't drink water. So like I had a cup of water and you had given me like a dish towel to like dip in, and then I could like hold the dish towel in my mouth. What was wrong with me? Like, what caused that? Was that like after I got my tonsils out or something? What was that? That was strep throat. Oh. Because I distinctly remember that because I was so goddamn thirsty. And I was sitting there sucking on a dish rag, essentially. And then I remember getting so thirsty and desperately so that I was like, I don't care what Mom said. Mom said, don't drink water, just suck on this dish rag. I'm like, I'm going to drink this fucking water because I am thirsty. So I like chugged this entire tall, like, plastic, you know, the tall plastic cups. I chugged the entire thing of water. I was just like, I was like, oh my God, that feels so much better. And then like, you know, like a minute later, I was throwing up all the water. I like went to the bath. I knew I was going to throw up and I went to the bathroom and I didn't even have to do anything. I just opened my mouth and it was like turning on the faucet tub. Just whoosh, just pure water just shot out. And oh, was I miserable. But I was so damn thirsty. I was going to die of thirst. I recall, that's like one of my core memories, is doing that. But I didn't remember what I was sick with. I just knew I couldn't drink water for some reason. I was thirsty after that. Yes, I was thirsty after that. But I didn't do anything about it because I knew what would happen. Still it didn't like alleviate my thirst. It didn't solve the problem, but it did solve my desire to do something about it. Cargo management. I was like, oh my God, don't make me drive to the other side. Oh, thank God there's a bridge there now. How did I get down here? It didn't delete those markers. That's weird. Oh man. Okay. It might have been after my tonsillectomy. Was my tonsillectomy in Corpus or was it in Oklahoma? Because I know my core memory is from Texas. You don't remember? Okay. I don't remember either. Okay. Gear recovery is not available? Is that the situation here? An oversized cargo, which is available here, and concrete slabs, which are not available here. Where's the broken pier? There? Oh, actually, that won't be too hard. What is I did not even pick up abandoned car. I drove right home. At the broken pier. Nothing. Okay, there's an upgrade here, a shipwreck. There's multiple upgrades over here. There's at least 3 more. And there's a watchtower. Is that my truck? Yeah, it is. Does it have gas? No, it does not. Zimnogorsk, yes. I still think the F-750 is a better overall scout truck, at least for at least for scouting. Just because it has all the extra gas and repair parts. Okay, so that'll unlock those 2 side missions. Yeah, regardless what I was sick with, that experience is a core memory of mine. Strangely enough, it's actually a positive core memory, because, like, even though it was a bad situation, I remember after I expulsed all of that water that I had just drank, I had apparently woken you up because the bathroom was like right next to y'all's bedroom. But like I had expulsed all of that, to use a somewhat better term. And I'm sure I don't know if I like cried or whimpered or whatever about it, because I was like, it sucks. But like I went back and sat in the living room and continued watching Price is Right or whatever I was doing. And you got up like 2 minutes later and was like, you feeling okay? And I was like, no. I drank all my water and threw up. Told you not to do that. I was thirsty. I also remember at one point Also, I don't remember what happened. But at one point, you had apparently thought I had a concussion or something. Because at one point, you, like, weren't letting me go to sleep, or you were letting me sleep, but you were, like, waking me up every hour. And I was like, just let me sleep. And you're like, I really want to, but I can't. That might have been after one of my bicycle accidents. Now that I think about it, I'm like, that makes sense. At one of the times I got hit by a car, I had enough of those. I did. I know I've had at least 3. I remember 3. And I think that's it. And if I remember correctly, only one of them was really severe. Did I say I was hit by a car? I have been hit by a car while on a bicycle on 3 separate occasions. Yes. One of which was at like 5 miles an hour. Because it was right outside. It was literally right right out of the driveway. Like, I was on my bike and I went down the driveway and a car like slammed on its brakes and like clunk hit me doing like 3 or 5 miles an hour. Just enough to like knock me off my bike and scare the crap out of me, but that was probably like had some bruises, some like scrapes or something. But yeah, only one of them was actually severe. One of them, the car was probably doing like 30. And hit me, and I went over the hood and up into the air and over the top of the car and landed behind the car after it had like gone past. So if you not letting me sleep because you were afraid I had a concussion was from me getting hit by a car, it was that one. That one I actually got taken to the hospital in an ambulance for. And I think they took me to the same hospital my dad worked at. It had to be a great thing. Hey, your son's on the way to the hospital. Oh yeah, what for? As a patient. Shit. I had road rash all over. Oh, I'm sure I did. I was wearing my helmet though. Not that it did it. Well, I was gonna say not that it did me any good, but like, I didn't have any head injuries. Oh, I wasn't? Pretty sure I was. Oh. Well, I don't remember that at all. I was pretty good about wearing my helmet, generally speaking. That must have been one of my off times. It's probably the concussion talking. Shut up. You're not making it any better. Take it to the warehouse. Okay, take the car to the warehouse. What's this other job? 4 consumables to the pier. Oh. You don't think you ever wore a helmet on a bike? Yeah, I was literally 2 streets over. Oh, no, they're scattered. I thought all 4 were right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's going to be more of a pain in the ass, isn't it? Yeah, it probably took you all of like 2 minutes to get there. I mean, you beat the ambulance. I'm pretty sure the incident that scared you the most was the one where we had the rollover car accident and I was in a hospital like 45 minutes away from home and you had to drive all the way over there. Pretty sure that was the worst one. I'm sure it helped a little bit talking to me before leaving and heading out, but I mean, it didn't make it easy. But I'm sure you were like, well, I talked to him, so I know he's at least, like, coherent. I find it kind of funny. I had no idea how badly injured I was. Yeah, exactly. I had no idea at the time how badly injured I was, because at the time I was like, I think I broke my finger. No. No, it wasn't broken. It was gone. I always wondered why your hair went gray. Oh. Oh. I can only count to 9 now. I can count to 9 3/4, which is great because that means I can make it to Hogwarts. It's crazy how little it hurts when you get seriously injured sometimes. I mention that on a regular basis. I felt absolutely no pain. It's not that it didn't hurt all that much. I felt 0 pain. During the accident, after the accident, in the hospital, on the way home, afterwards. Nothing. It wasn't until, like, The hospital, that's adrenaline, yeah. The hospital gave me pain meds, obviously, and they probably injected me with pain meds while I was there. But once those wore off, and because by then the adrenaline had worn off, and then once the initial pain meds wore off, oh boy, was I in pain! Oh my lord! That was that was the most intense pain I'd ever felt in my life at that point. But during the accident, nothing. And we're gonna drag this guy's happy little ass back to the garage. But yeah, from also like I lost the tip of my finger, right? But like from my elbow to my hand was numb, the whole thing. Just didn't feel any of it. And I looked at my finger, and like the first knuckle was just dangling. So I was all like, well, it looks like I broke my finger, but I can't feel it. It doesn't hurt. So like I leveled it back out because I knew you're supposed to straighten the bone, right? So I'm like, well, I'll level the tip of my finger out because that should be the position it's actually in. And then held it that way until I got to the hospital. Then they cut it off. Probably gave me a nerve block. Oh, I'm sure they did. At the hospital? Yeah, I'm sure they did. But this was like during the accident, getting into the ambulance, all that. Felt nothing. Then let me get through this real quick. But didn't feel anything at the hospital when they amputated my finger. Didn't feel anything on the drive home. And then it's funny. It's one of those things you don't think about until it happens to you. And while it's happening, you don't think about it, but afterwards you look back at it and you go, that's really weird. Like, we were going to Houston, me and a bunch of friends. First thing in the morning. It's like 9 a.m. By the time we had the accident, it was probably like 9-ish, 9:30. I don't know what time we got home, but we got home relatively midday, I think. Probably like 1 or 2. Out of the hospital, back home and everything. Immediately went to bed. I was dead tired. And it makes sense looking back at it. Because you're like, well, of course you were dead tired. Your body had been through like this massive traumatic event. And even though you had a full night's rest and you didn't do anything today, you know, your body had gone through like what was essentially one of the most traumatic experiences it had ever had. And so your body was like, bro, I'm done. I cannot do any more. And then just shut down again. Nap time. You had a broken hip and they gave you morphine? Jesus Christ. Happy had... Dilaudid?
Dilaudid.
Which is... Isn't it apparently like one step above morphine?
I can ask your mom, she would know.
I think it's technically stronger than morphine? I don't remember. But yeah, she got Dilaudid for her... It's what used to be called laudanum. Awesome. It's what used to be called laudanum. Yeah, she had that for her gallbladder. When she went in for her gallbladder attack that led them to realize she needed her gallbladder removed. And they were like, we're going to give you Dilaudid, and it's... it should make the... It's funny. They're like, it should make the pain go away, but if it doesn't, let us know and we can give you more. And they gave her Dilaudid, and she was just like... out like a light. Yes, it was that time. It was the time that she was passed out in the... I'm sitting there in the hospital, like in the I don't know what it is. In the examination room, I guess. And because it wasn't our room like a stay room. It was
it's from the ER
to where you're being examined.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the examination room. Not only did you break it, but they misdiagnosed it as a deep bone bruise, and you walked on it for 2 days. Jesus Christ! Fuck that. But yeah, we were back in the examination room, and she's sleeping, and I'm sitting over there like playing on my phone or whatever. Like, I think I was sending emails to my boss at work and was all like, I am not coming into work tomorrow. Because this is like 9 o'clock at night. So I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm coming into work tomorrow. And she's sleeping. And I hear her over there and she goes, and she wakes up. And she looks over at me, and I'm laughing at the fact that she just made a ridiculous noise, right? So she goes, and I start laughing because I'm like, but I'm not laughing out loud. I'm like chuckling to myself. And she wakes up and she looks over at me, and she sees me chuckling, and she's like, stop. And she immediately passes right back out. And then maybe like 5 minutes later, and she wakes up again. And I'm over there chuckling again. And she's like, stop. She's thinking, I didn't know this at the time, but she was thinking that I was making the noise and waking her up, and then laughing that I was waking her up. She needed more meds. I think she had enough. She was not in any pain. It was just like her having like I don't know, a guttural reaction thing. You made the EMT vomit when they picked you up to take me into the hospital. My leg had twisted around backwards while trying to get me in, and I had to pick up my leg and rotate it back around, and you could hear the popping and grinding. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that would make me probably vomit too. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Ugh. I remember I broke my best friend's toe shortly after he had had toe surgery. Shortly after he had had toe surgery, I broke his toe. You're welcome. And then he popped it back into place while we were sitting there, and almost made one of our friends throw up from that. But like, he had just had toe surgery. And I'm sitting next to him. And I'm leaning back in my chair. As you do. And his toe just so happened to like sneak its way underneath my chair. And then I came down and right on top of his toe. And he was like, fuck! Let's get out of here. It was bad. You were in Egypt. And that's when you got to go... Oh. So they airlifted you out of Egypt and sent you to Israel to get surgery? Was this military or was this oil field? Those are the two most common reasons you would be in Egypt and then transferred to Israel.
Wow.
Oil field, yeah. You were in military, okay. You rode in an ambulance for a little over 4 hours, and the roads are not what you would call smooth. Well, okay, fair. Were you in the Sinai, or were you over in, like, Cairo, Alexandria area? Like, how long is 4 hours from Israel into Egypt? You were in the Sinai, okay. I don't know what MFO is. But. Multinational force of observers. 11 countries that operate on a 2x1 mile posting. Hello? What's going on? Oh, that sucks. I hope everything goes well. Isn't detached retina one of the things you had going on? See this? What is this stop and go crap? I have my foot on the accelerator the whole time. Why is it stopping? Yeah, we're pretty lucky that in this day and age we have, like, eye surgery is much more of a thing than it used to be. Oh, you got 7? Good. Like, don't get me wrong, eye surgery is still gonna be like, it's always gonna be super delicate and very scary, but compared to like 30 or 40 years ago, when they would just be like, you're going blind. How does a detached retina even happen? I mean, there's multiple different ways. It can be from something as simple as like trauma to the eye or head that can cause it to occur. Or it can be, you know, genetic. There could be some kind of a defect in the retina that eventually causes it to detach. You've had 6, so you're glad. Well, yeah. But so am I. I did ask my, the last time I went to go get my eyes checked, I did ask him about Fuchs. Because I was like, my mom said she might have this condition and she wanted me to get it checked out too, just in case. And then I was like, it's called Fuchs. And he just went, Fuchs. My mom has the fucks. And what was funny is the guy kind of chuckled. He was, not at the fact that I called it fucks. I mean, probably at that too. But he chuckled. I was all like, my mom wanted me to get checked out for that. Is there like a test you can do to check out for Fuchs? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I'll look into that. And he chuckled and he was all like, I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I'll check, you know, to make you feel better. And he was like, it's really only, like, anybody can get it. Yes, that's true. But it's primarily in older adults. And apparently it's easy to detect. And it can be detected years and years and years before it becomes a problem. He's like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody detected it a decade prior to it actually becoming an issue. But he checked out my eyes and he was all like, there's absolutely 0 signs of this whatsoever. So he's like, it's something to keep on the radar, but it's not something you need to get checked out every time you get your eyes checked. It's like once a decade's probably fine. I was like, okay. He's like, because if I don't see anything now, it's going to take a long time for something to develop. I was like, cool. But it wasn't even like a... it was about 3 years prior to your transplant? Okay. Yeah, he chuckled because he's like, this, you're not going to have it. Like, if you have it, you would know. Not like you would know you have the condition, but like you would know something was wrong. And he's like, so the only other thing we can do is check to see if there's like the earliest of early stages of it, but I still don't think that's good. And he's like, nope, it's not, you're fine. Do you hear about the face and eye transplant on the news? I did hear about that. I didn't look into it all that much, but I did hear about it. It's pretty cool that, like, face transplants have been a thing for a while. I was honestly a little surprised about why it was such a big deal, and maybe because I didn't read into it. But face transplants have been a thing, and eye transplants have been a thing. So I was a little surprised why they were making such a big deal about a face and eye transplant, other than they did them both at the same time, I guess. Like, this isn't the first face transplant, and it's not the first eye transplant. I guess it's just the first face, it's just the first simultaneous. Is that the thing? Oh, eye transplants have been the holy grail because they have... So eye transplants have not been done before? Thought they had. No. Oh. I stand corrected. At least not functionally. Got... Okay. So there may have been an eye transplant, but it was like, you have an eye, but it just doesn't work. I guess that makes sense. I mean, I'm not surprised the optic nerve is the problem. That's not just like a nerve. You say something? Okay. Not only is it not, it's not just a nerve, it's a big cord of nerves, but it's also like, next to the spinal column, it's the most complicated nerve bundle in the body, isn't it? I think if I'm going to do this, I need to come out here with a... I think I need to come out here with the Tataran. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait. I was like, why do I not have low gears here? Well, here's hoping the eye transplant works. Because, dude, if they could do spinal transplants, oh, that's a game changer. It's just, honestly, it's only a matter of time, really. You have to get enough people that are willing to... Unfortunately, you have to get enough people that are willing to be guinea pigs. Well, honestly, regenerative nerve tissue regrowth would technically be the holy grail, because then you don't actually have to do transplantation. Just regrow nerves in situ, you know? And if you can do it using stem cells, you could regrow essentially that person's genetic duplicated spinal column and avoid all issues of rejection would be gone, because it's your own. You're just regrowing your own spine. Yeah. Like I said, it's not a matter of if it will eventually happen, it's just when. Like, the technology, technically, the capabilities exist. It's just we don't know exactly how to do it, and how to do it like 100% safe and correct every time. I would go so far as to say that the person who will, the doctor who will perform the first successful, like, nerve tissue regrowth procedure on a patient is probably alive. They may not be a doctor right now, you know, they may be a kid or something, but I'm pretty sure that person is already alive. God, this thing moves so weird. I don't know if Athos is still here, but man, this thing moves weird. It moves really well, but boy, is it strange. It like strafes through the mud. It certainly gets through it quickly and efficiently, but it feels funky when it doesn't. We have this this streamer we watch. This is just to show how weird and strange, like, medical technology has come. We have this streamer that we watch, and his wife is pregnant with twins, and he likes to say their eviction date is December 2nd or 7th, I forget. It's coming up pretty quick. But that's the date that the doctors are like, if you don't go into labor by then, you come into the hospital, we will make you birth. Um, but he was talking about how they had gone in for they've been, because they're twins and they're a little older in age. They're not in their 20s. They're in like their mid to late 30s, and they're having twins. So the doctors are like paying much more close attention to them than they would somebody. He was like, really, really early in the development cycle, they were like, here, you want to look at the hearts? Do you want to look at their lungs? We can show you all their organs while they're in there. We can see exactly how they're developing. We can do genetic testing right now to see if there's any like detectable genetic defects in the babies. And I'm just like, what the fuck? They can do all that? That's crazy. Remember before it was all like, sounds like there's a baby in there. We'll keep an eye on it and make sure we still hear stuff. You did that too? That's so trippy. Like when I was growing up and watching like medical shows, when we were born, it was actually new to find out the gender before birth. Yeah. Now they're like doing 3D scans of their hearts in utero. And they can tell if there's heart defects before they're born. And I'm just like, what? And he's all like, yeah, the doctor seemed like it wasn't a big deal. Just like, yeah, we do this all the time. It's normal. It's like, it wasn't normal when I was a kid or a teenager. They thought you were going to be a boy? They were like, yeah, it's a boy. Then you give birth and you're like, there's no penis.
A lot of my baby clothes I have.
That's adorable. Yeah, so even then, nailing the gender wasn't perfect. They probably like batted 90% or something, but still. They still got it wrong every once in a while. Oh, Athos, yeah. This thing drives so weird. This thing feels so funky. Like a tank? Not really. I mean, kind of. But like earlier I was driving through the mud and I was driving the direction I wanted to go, but it was strafing through the mud. It was sliding diagonal. And I was just like, this is so weird. All-wheel steering? No, just front two. It's 4-axle and the front two steer. So it's not all-wheel steering, but it's like double axle steering. I don't know what the hell they call it. I mean, this thing eats mud like it's nothing. I had my F750 and my F750 couldn't do this. And this thing's just like, nah, I got it, it's fine. So this thing is a beast. Be like those Argo ATVs. I don't know what that means. But maybe? Alright, let's see if there's anything over here. There's probably not, but I'd like to check. Nope, there's nothing. So I guess it's just a thing where it's like, you can get out here if you really want. With the Tataran. But like none of my other vehicles could have made that. I'm glad the skin is like an alligator. It makes sense. Okay. This is cool, man. Alright, let's take a look at this. What do we got? 3 medium logs to the quarry. A fuel carrier trailer to the service hub in the quarry. 3 long logs to the sawmill. 3 medium logs to the shipwreck. That's all quarry stuff. Here, recovery we could do. Tega oil. That's all in the rift. I don't know where that is. Seismic vibrator. We should probably do that. Oversized cargo to the drilling site in the quarry. And then scan the area near the drilling site, which is also seismic. Yeah, I think we should do the seismic stuff. Where's my seismic truck? It is. They were tank-style 6-wheel amphibious ATVs. Kind of like the, that one machine that was designed to, like, relocate massive objects, and it had, like, 40 wheels or something, and all 40 were independent for, like, computer-controlled steering. So they could, like, rotate the whole thing in a circle. I forget what that thing was, but it was made for, like, massive items. Oh... Well, I think I am going to go ahead and stop here for tonight, everybody.